Stretcheronis.
I love the fact most of the responses, or half the responses to Roman's response to me, is literally just, it's Dila.
Yeah. Alright, so let's get started. I'm just looking for music I want to play. We'll go with Babylon. I like it.
We're heading to, where are we heading, Brandon? Where are we chasing Olivia to?
You guys don't know. You are heading to the eastern part of Arder Sarai, looking for some sort of port. You believe Olivia is hiring pirates. But we'll get into that later tonight, when we get into the recap. So, I heard Eric talk earlier. Ramon, are you there?
Still here.
Cool. Okay, everybody is here because I heard Wolf talk earlier too. Alright, welcome to the Ilderon Tales. This is Group B, Legends Lost, Episode 8. And the third saga of Book 2 of the campaign. We are playing Dungeons and Dragons tonight. D&D, there we go. We're playing D&D tonight. Everything you're going to see on the stream is going to be live storytelling. Nothing is scripted. I've got a bunch of notes for tonight's session, but that is it. Just notes reminding me of who is where and what's going on in the world. And yeah, moving on from there, we are playing in a homebrewed campaign setting. We are playing in the world of Ilderon. If you'd like to learn more about it, you can go to www.ilderontales.com. And if you'd like to talk or do anything and communicate with us, there's a link to our Discord in the description. And moving from there, if you are under the age of 14, please consult your parents before watching this video because the content might not be appropriate. Finally, we have everybody here except for Blizz, and I will be controlling Nyan tonight. And before we jump into it, does anybody want to know a tidbit? So I'm going to extend this. A tidbit about the world of Ilderon or D&D in general?
I have a question, if no one else does.
Hit me.
Who is the patriarch of demons in this?
The patriarch of demons in this world?
Yeah, because in normal D&D, Asmodeus is, or devils, I should say. Asmodeus is like the head of all demons. So who would that be in this one?
Well, yeah, so Fiends. Asmodeus is, I believe he's in the 9 layers of hell, in the lowest one. Or is he in the Endless Abyss? I don't know. One of the two.
He's in the last one. He's in the 9th layer, but he's also the governing body.
Yeah. So in Ilderon, demons are created when concepts of reality become sentient. And so demons represent emotions and things like greed, lust, and even knowledge. There is a knowledge demon inside of the campaign, who are fiends. I'm sorry, I shouldn't have said demon. Fiends are all formed like that. Among the fiends in Ilderon, there is the classic dichotomy of devils and demons. In charge of the faction of demons is actually in charge of the faction of devils is actually an archdevil. They are given the title of the lawgiver. They have a city inside of the realm of on life known as the Bridge in Ilderon. The city is called Jahara Utha, and it is under the Astral Sea. It's kind of like a cavernous, afterlife Atlantis type of place, and it's built on an underwater volcanic vent. And around this volcanic area is where demons and devils all form. And the lawgiver is kind of like the lawful force there, because there's law can exist in both good and evil. And she is the lawful evil ruler of Jahara Utha, and she is basically given reign over all of the devils inside of that city. She has something called the Lawgiver's Pact, which grants her deific levels of power so long as the pact is honored. At different times in the history of the city of Jahara Utha, different fiends have been the lawgiver. The current lawgiver has been reigning for several thousand years. Possibly 2,000, I think, is how long she's been in charge. But her name is Honesta the Persistent. Hold on. If you give me 1 sec, I will give you an exact answer. Alright, the current lawgiver of... here we go. The current lawgiver of Jahara Utha is Lawgiver Alexis Anata the Puissant. And Alexis is a title given to archdevils. So not only is she the leader of the devils in the city, she is also a very, 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 very powerful archdevil in her own right without the Lawgiver's Pact. But for more about the fiends of Ilderon, I'll link this in general. Or no, I'll link this in world info. You can read the Jahara Utha page. Yeah, so from there, let's jump into the recap. Does anybody want to recap last episode? Otherwise, I can. Alright, I'm going to hit it up. So, when we last left this group off, they had caught a drill on the 28th of Hunter after licking their wounds from the fight inside of the university, the arcane university known as Mathis University in Ililnagai. They decided to go shopping throughout the capital city, and they lost a friend when they were trying to capture a drill, so they were seeking to execute their friend's final wills and testament. While roaming through the city of Sky's Reach and seeking out where their friend's their friend being Matir, where his will was stored and what his will entailed, they ran into Order 148 and Matir's captain, who was a half-working man who informed the party that he'll take care of handling Matir's will and testament and getting his payment of the gold he got for the job he died on, to Matir's mother, who is leading a Orcish tribe in the west. From there, the party learned that Order 148 is a order composed of a couple hundred Milsarai, and they are a more militant order, and they are being deployed to the front lines of the border, it's not even a border conflict, the border war between Ililnagai and Arder Sarai. That tensions have escalated that much. Moving from there, the party learned that Lyra was still lingering about the city, even though her business was thought to be concluded. She had came to Sky's Reach to inform, I say with quotation marks, but technically tell the new Sky Queen, or rather the current Sky Queen, that Lyra appointed a new general to handle Elil Nagai's mercenary army. And apparently that had taken longer than anticipated, and Lyra was still in town. The Supreme, or rather the Sunyith, which is the church of the Given Wills that makes up the other half of Elil Nagai's government, had appointed a new ruler to that region of Elil Nagai, and a lot of people thought Lyra was overstepping her boundaries in making this appointment while the new leader was also being appointed. A merchant expressed her frustrations to the party to relay to Lyra, and then the party went back to the university. At the university, they saw Supreme Light Lyra Pramada talking to what appeared to be a child. Apparently, Lyra and the child had some relation, as Lyra saved them quite a while ago, and they were said to be a powerful spellcaster. From there, Lyra talked to the party and said her business in Sky's Reach was concluded. And as the party was deciding what to do, they looked up and saw that Dila's tower was void of people and of Dila. And so the party then had the assumption that Dila had left to start her quest without them, and they attempted to hurry out of the university to find her. They spied on her and saw her in some far eastern village of the country of Ardersarai. She was talking to a noblewoman who was making arrangements for money and troops. From there, Dila left the building, and the party then prepared to teleport onto her location, which they did. Dila Winrona, who has been trying to undermine a powerful clandestine circle of super magical people, was rightly terrified when somebody stepped behind her, put their hand on her shoulder, and I forgot the exact word that was said. And she misty stepped away instantly. From there, the party talked amongst themselves for a second, and Dila revealed herself in a nearby building, informing the party they scared the mess out of her. She told them that she was on Olivia's trail, and she was rallying the lords of this region to help. And then... Oh, no, she did not. She said that if the party chose to join her, that they were taking their lives into their own hands, and that if they died, their blood was not on Dila's head. From there, the party elected to follow Dila, as she said she was heading. She was heading to the east to a small hamlet outside of town. While Dila was heading towards the hamlet, Nyan, Dralos, and Vanvi got into a sparring match to test each other's skills, at which they all almost knocked each other. Well, two of them fell unconscious on the hillside, or on top of the hill, and Dralos yielded before he was also killed or knocked unconscious. From there, he put Vanvi and Nyan's body on Vanvi's mount and headed off after Siegfried, Admir, and Dila. So that is where we are going to pick up. So we are in the province of Kalu. if you guys look to the right of that inspiration picture, you are on the eastern side of town. You are heading off the map to a small settlement that is on the horizon. It is not terribly far, just a few miles walk right out one of the farms just outside of Kalu. Alright, so I am going to make an executive DM decision where I did roll the wake up dice for Vanvi and Nyan last session. In light of Nyan's absence, I am going to do a polite thing, which is very rare for me, and I'm going to swap Nyan and Vanvi's die. Vanvi will wake up in 1 hour, and Nyan will wake up in 3, just to make all of our lives easier. Alright, let's go to adventure music, and stop with this super serious music, because we're on an adventure. You are on the road. You are following Dila Winrona westward, or eastward. She has her cloak up, and it is heading into the evening of the 28th. What do you want to do? Vanvi and Nyan are unconscious on top of the Mount Luna, who is a celestial griffin currently, and Draelos is leading the mount towards Siegfried and Admir, who are immediately behind Dila. I'm going to roll a D100 and times it by 5. So that seems fair. 88 times 5. 88 times 5 equals... Draelos is about 500 feet behind the rest of the party. What do you guys want to do?
What in the bridge did those idiots do?
Not dead? And the headmistress is going to wait for us.
Do you want me to wait for them to catch up and you keep up with Dila?
I mean, I'm the one that can probably heal them and pick them up.
Alright, go make sure they're alive.
Will do. And I'll start walking towards them as I guess they're walking towards us.
Okay. Yeah, and that distance is going to close very quickly. And, Draelos is making time, of course, with Luna. They're catching up with you.
Right.
Yeah, Draelos is in front of Siegfried. Still, Vanvi and Nyan are unconscious on Luna's back.
Draelos, what happened? I thought you were going to spar, not fight to the death.
Eric, if you're talking, we can't hear you. Eric's dead.
No, he typed something.
Oh, Discord, you beautiful, beautiful beast.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, I
Yeah,
can.
There we go.
I didn't mean to, and they're still alive. It's not that bad.
Siegfried's gonna run a medicine check on them. See if he knows.
Okay.
If he can figure out, like, maybe how long they'll be out, or how much he needs to heal them, wake them up.
Yeah, go ahead and give me that medicine check.
Alright.
I'm going to put it at hard. Yeah, so looking at Nyan and Vanvi, it was pretty bad. It might have been a spar, but they went all out.
I
They
did not go out all out.
well, Vanvi and Nyan did. You can determine the times that each of them are going to be out. Vanvi, at an hour, her celestialness has already started kicking in and trying to piece together her wounds. Nyan, though, looks like a human child. They are beaten and bruised and probably going to be out longer.
That makes me feel even more like a jerk. Like I just beat up a kid.
Well, it was revealed Nyan is actually 30 years old.
All the same.
I'm gonna heal them both for, let's say, 10 points from damage.
Okay. All right. Vanvi and Nyan each gain 10 HP as Siegfried pumps lay on hands and holy energy flows through his gauntlets into you.
I had to use this more recently than I've ever had to.
Yeah. Nyan is going to blink awake looking around and look back towards the hill and say, "That was fun."
I bet.
Vanvi is awake too.
Well, you two have fun.
Now, if Wolf is speaking, I can't hear him because his mic is muted.
But I want to glance at them and I want to be like, "Don't you dare say anything negative."
Do they have to run an insight to know they understand what you're saying? Your eye.
No, they're not gonna roll an insight. Yeah, Nyan will just shake their head. Wolf, I can hear you now.
Yeah, Vanvi was just stating, reminds me not to heal you again if you ever convince me to spar with you again. Without convincing your animals first.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, so she summons animals. That's good to know.
When she gets knocked out, animals will come around to help her. And they decided to knock me out when I was about to heal her.
I don't want to know. You get going. Headmistress is on the warpath.
Yeah, I figured as much.
Either of you two walk. Ride your brooms.
Vanvi's going to lightly pat Nyan on the shoulder and state as she uses Healing Hand.
All right. And what is your current level? 15?
Yep.
All right. Nyan will go up to 25. As you are walking...
Wait, was Vonvi healing Nyan, or was he healing the Griffin?
Nyan. Because
Okay.
the Griffin didn't take any damage.
Okay.
Let's see. How does this thing work?
It is
Oh, no. I know how Healing Spirit works. Let's see. All right. Wait. Oh, okay. That's not the one he selected. Okay. Anyways, I was just looking at whatever spirit he selected. I don't know if he got the unicorn one. So,
I
anyways,
think you get to choose which one every time you cast it.
Yeah, I'm not going to go through and read Xanathars now. I'll do it when you guys are role playing or doing something. But anyways, Nyan is going to cast Healing Spirit, and as you guys are walking, the spirit is going to dance around you for 1 minute, and it is going to heal you guys 10 times. Alright, repeat the last roll. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. The first 5 are for Vanvi, the second 5 are for Nyan.
So, 12.
Rob is confirming that you choose the spirit each time.
Oh, okay, cool. I'm not doing that math. You guys probably won't have combat now. Anyways, let's see. That is 9 plus 7 plus 7 plus 9 plus 10. Alright, Nyan heals for 42 points of damage.
32. That's 42 as well.
Alright. Alright, yeah, so, Nyan and Vanvi are both awake, and they are both no longer bloodied, which is the best anyone can hope for.
Now that we've all took care of our little boo-boos, let's get moving.
Alright.
Talking to them like children.
I know.
Even though Bombi's older.
Doesn't Siegfried have a daughter or just a niece?
Just a niece.
Oh, okay. Well, it's his chance.
Bonvi's just getting roll her eyes and as they keep walking, not saying anything.
Okay.
With them both.
So, as you continue to walk along the path, eventually you are going to get to that hamlet in the distance. It is a small outlying settlement around Kalu. You can see on the buildings as you're walking along the road, there are banners of what looks like the Four Ascendants, symbol, except instead of the normal blue and white colors, blue, white, and green colors that adorn the symbol, it is all different shades of red. And in the middle, where the pendant, or where the mark would normally denote which god, like Gale Song, Soyesa, Velrir, or Umia, in the middle of like this diamond, instead there is a ruby there on these banners.
Do I recognize this? This is Tengu, isn't it?
No, you do not. It is not the Fifth Ascended. You can roll a history check if you know what this is.
And I failed.
Can I roll one, Brandon?
Yeah, go for it. You are going to know this tabard. It appears a few places in Alonagai. This is the tabard of the Ruby Ministry. It is an accounting guild within the Ruby Alliance of merchants. You surmise that whoever lives here is probably pretty wealthy.
So we're dealing with the ruby, huh?
Well, I guess as we're walking into the hamlet, we don't see. Do we see Dralos, Admare, and Dila Are they still? Can we still see them ahead of us, or are they lost? Like,
Yeah, I mean, you guys would catch up to them because Drelos is just naturally quick. And they wouldn't be, like, terribly far in front of you. Because Luna was carrying, your wounded. But yes, the party is together to answer your question.
okay. Be sure, like, if we were together by the time we. So what is this place?
Asking Dila, she is going to...
Asking out in the open.
Oh, okay.
Some merchant who's involved with the ruby, so not exactly sure what town or suburb this is, though.
As you walk, as you're walking past these buildings, Dila is going to speak up and say, "We're only here for a quick minute. We just need a reagent from this town." And she looks at the banners and says, "Those weren't here last time I was in this region." As you continue to walk, there is a large market square in the center of this town. In the center of this square, there is a depiction of the goddess Umia. She has her hands up, and she is standing on one leg with her knee bent, almost as if she's leaping into the sky. From where her hand is where you would expect water to be flowing. Instead, there is a wooden fence put up around this statue.
The
Well, this is
magpie in
tasteful.
me is kind of curious. Is there, like, what type of market is this?
Let's see. All right. So first, statue of Umia in town, and then you ask what type of market. So let's see. You are in the town square. Looking around, it is people who would be here now. That looks like there are a couple merchants out here selling goods. Mostly looks to be seeds and agricultural stuff. Getting ready for the planting season. Or in preparation for the planting season. Doesn't look like the market is that active. There's actually a chantry to Umia on the south side of town, but it is it looks to be in disrepair. Dila is going to look at the fountain and say, "Huh. Well, that's surprising."
The fact that there's no water running through her hand?
She's going to nod and say, "The water is what we need."
Seems like someone's not a fan of the Ascended in this town.
Probably a bigger
Considering,
fan of money.
unless maybe, actually, I'm gonna roll a history check because to see if Von V would note that Olivia is related to Lumia.
Go ahead.
22.
Yeah, you are going to know Olivia is the reason Umia ascended. She tried. They were sailing on the same ship, and Olivia threw a coup, killed, or rather attacked Umiya, threw her overboard, and when Umiya drowned, she was reborn and became the ascended god of the seas.
Perhaps since if Olivia was in this region, perhaps she might have had something to do with it? As a possibility?
They're saying this whole town is under her control. This doesn't look like something done by Olivia. This looks like something done by whoever is now in charge of the town. They don't worship Mia or Ascended. And the ruby symbol makes me think Ruby Alliance. They probably worship money.
If not the Alliance, the Shadow.
Might have heard about them. They have a town?
Become popular enough? I'm sure almost anybody could have a town underneath their name or banner.
Oh, headmistress, you want to ask around? Maybe the old temple for this is still here.
Yeah, she is going to nod and start walking towards the ruined temple. Let's see. Everybody else, I need to get out some die. I don't have anything for tonight. Oh, I do have percentage die. I just put them on top of Alexa. Turn off. Alright, so everybody else. Dila begins walking towards the temple to investigate. Another group, or rather everybody else, is going to see a woman. She has a black and gray ashen staff. She is shaking it at a cart of these seeds, and as the merchant is waving his hands at her, she seems to be threatening him rather vehemently.
It doesn't sound like my problem.
Oh, I was about to ask, are you guys a group of good Samaritans that go around helping people, or the type of people that stay out of their way? I could go either way, but
Siegfried, this is harder.
I'd like to have
People hurting
to have a
Vonvi's gonna sigh and start guiding Luna quietly towards them. You all go ahead with Dila. I'll catch up.
don't get into was it an honor duel that they have here? Yeah, don't get into one of them.
my ears perk up a little bit.
All right.
Let the savages do what they want.
Vanvi heads off towards the woman with the staff. The rest of the party follows Dila.
That's where Edmir's going.
Okay.
That sounds right.
I'll follow Dila and keep her out of trouble.
All right. So let's start with Vanvi.
Mm-hmm. Oh boy.
Why are you oh boying? We're just getting started. It's Alright, so as you approach the woman waving the staff, you are going to hear the words she's saying. She is going to she's waving this staff furiously and say, "These prices are exorbitant! If you come around here charging that, I'll curse your crop and every field you plant them in will be barren." The merchant's going to be like waving his hand and say, "Madam, I actually don't plant these, I just sell the seeds." She's going to say, "Well, then I'll curse you so that your charisma's so low that nobody will ever look..." And she's going to look at you or see Von V approaching. She's going to slam her staff into the ground and look indignant at Von V and say, "If you're looking for a fair seed for the coming sun season, you best look elsewhere." The man is going to start scratching the back of his head.
What? So you were upselling seeds here? Is that what I'm hearing is your complaint?
The man is going to say, Morzia produces food for the western half of Cedal, and Kalu produces food for the eastern half. With the war between Alunagai and Ardor, everybody's going to be depending on the Kalu province as for planting. Any good merchant worth half his knowledge would be out here selling his goods the best he can. There's going to be a demand. The woman is going to point her staff at the merchant and say, "That's predatory." The staff begins to powder off as ash is falling from it.
Would I recognize this staff as a magical item?
Give me an Arcana check.
By any magical properties? Okay.
It's definitely magical, and it's got black veins running through it mixed with these ash and gray veins swirling around it. It doesn't even look like this thing is wood. Which is also funny because this woman is, this is a tall blonde woman, and she is dressed in burlap trousers and a tunic that doesn't seem to mark her as like anybody important. The staff is magical, although you're not certain what it does.
Okay. For curiosity's sake, how much are you selling? What are you selling, and about how much are you selling them for?
He is going to say, 3 gold for a bundle.
Gold.
Hey, Ramon, I'm getting a little bit of feedback from your mic, so I'm just going to turn you down until we switch to Siegfried.
I'm muted.
You're fine. Yeah, so, he responds with 3 gold. The woman is going to say, "That's enough! From the darkness within my soul, I give it unto you! I cast a hex upon thee!" The gray inside the staff is going to shine a pale light. As the man puts up his hands, he winces.
Cast counter spell as she does that.
Alright, you are able to. The magic inside of the staff fades as it just goes back to sprinkling powder as she shakes it. She shakes it 2 more times and kind of turns it over in her hand looking at it. She looks at the merchants do you feel cursed? He's gonna lower his hands and look at them, and then shrug. And he's gonna say, "Oh, all right, I can do 2 gold." She's gonna say, "1.5 gold," pointing the staff again.
Are you? I'm sounding really hypocritical right now, but I'm not the same character. What is it that what kind of seeds are you specifically asking for, if I may ask?
What would be popular in this region? Let me think for a second. Let's go with hemp for rope and food. Yeah, she's gonna look at you and say a whole sack full of hemp seeds.
A whole sack. And and a whole sack would make about like a good large garden's full, right?
Yeah. A whole sack could be like about a half a field of like a small field.
I'm sorry if I'm taking a long time on this. It's just viewing at that, I'm trying to think of whether or not that would be reasonable in general. Oh, boy.
You can roll me a intelligence check flat, and I'll allow Vanvi to like think about agriculture. Or if you know nature, I'll allow a nature check too.
I'm proficient in nature, so let's try that. 17.
Oh my goodness gracious! 1.5 gold for this sack is still far above what these things would be worth in the rest of the world. Just because it still takes a whole season to grow them, and it still takes time and labor in the fields to produce this crop. Like 5 silver is the most these things would be worth in a sack full, sack included.
Oh, Vonvi's just gonna kind of just hold the bridge of her nose, just kind of. Oh boy, I don't know. I don't happen to have any silver on me.
As you're watching this, the merchant and woman are going to come to an agreement as he pulls off a sack and hands it to her.
Okay.
She rests the staff on her shoulder and fishes out a handful of coins and hands it over to him.
Yeah. Okay.
She's going to look at Vanvi and say, "Are you a fan of the necromantic arts?"
Personally, I'm more into conjuration, but depending on what is necessary. Like I said, I'm more of a fan of conjuration, but I've seen my fair share of necromancy done.
She is going to raise the staff in the air and say, if you wish to learn, Lord Reeve is always looking for new apprentices. Why, before I had the power of magic at my command, anybody could get over on me. But now, no one gets away with taking advantage of me, lest they feel my dark fury.
Bonry's gonna remain silent.
Yeah.
Lord
She
Reeve.
brings down the staff, pointing it at Vanvi, and says, "The way of the sword is so last century." And she's going to sling the sack over her shoulder and put the staff on her other and start walking.
Once she walks a decent amount away, like out of earshot, Vonry will turn to the merchant and kind of just state, "You were heavily overpricing it, but I don't believe getting cursed is a reasonable reaction for being oversold."
He is going to nod and say, "Yeah, I'm gonna stop by one of the chantries inside Kalu before I go back. Before I take my route to Erothia." He's still staring down at his hands. He says, "Well, I still got about 5 more sacks if you want one."
No, thank you. Just be glad I was here.
Yeah.
Otherwise, that stuff might have actually done something. As she walks away and kind of has Luna go off towards the rest of the party.
All right. The rest of the party. You are. Let's. There we go. You are going to step towards this chantry of Umiya. It is a building of stone, and it is a long building. You can see there is some type of order house built into the eastern side of it, but the main part of the building closest to the western side and the town square is stacked in a curving pyramidal shape. It is made of stone bricks, but there is a artistic lay to the bricks in that the building tries to curve. I'm trying to think if anybody here is Ardorian.
No.
Yeah. Yeah, nobody.
I don't know about what's your name?
Terran?
Ion.
Oh, Nyan? No, Nyan is a Lonagian. Yeah.
Do you think Lyra would befriend an Ardorian?
Mm-hmm. So this building looks like a weird, almost polygonal teardrop shape. It can only you can only get so much detail with the bricks that are used. There are circular glass windows all throughout this building on this part of it. Some of them, however, are broken. In the areas that they're broken, you can see that banners have been laid over this building. However, just some areas you're able to just see behind the banners of that ruby diamond in the middle. Stepping through the door, Dila is going to place a hand on it. She turns the heavy wooden handle and attempts to move the door. As she pushes against it, instead of swiveling open, it falls inward. It makes a loud thud.
I think been abandoned.
Dila is going to nod, raising her hand. She takes a step inside.
What's so special about this water that? Is it blessed or something by Mia?
Dila is going to nod and say it's not blessed by Umiya, but it comes from a natural hot spring and has latent ley arcane ability laced within it, but it can create the most potent holy water. It can also shape steel, melt it at will.
Couldn't we go to the source directly? Unless that's somewhere underground or in a faraway mountain.
She is going to nod and say it's underground.
Ah.
In the Waking Era, there was a forge in this town. It was one of the only ones in the world that could forge steel and other metals and just the waters from the springs under the town.
I wonder if it dried up.
She is going to shake her head and say, I doubt it, but I'm wondering what happened here.
What are the properties of this water that we need? Like, why do we need this water in particular?
Well, she said something about holy water. Are you planning on using it to make a holy water?
She's going to look back at Siegfried and say, she's going to look back at Siegfried and then say, look, we're going against Olivia here. I want to be prepared in every aspect that I can.
No,
I don't have a god at my side this time, but I still have the necessary knowledge and capabilities to send her back to the own life that she came.
I understand.
Out of character. I'm sorry. Out of character. We were talking about imbuing my +2 dagger with 2 things of not the holy, but whatever.
Yes.
I don't think we've done that yet.
It has not been done.
But I don't think we got the material, the infusion. Right.
I thought we did.
No, you did not. You guys left the university before you did. As you guys are stepping through here and walking over the rubble and remains of this area, you can see in the back there are several canvas sheets, like the canvas of a tent. They are strung up around a corner of this open temple area to make a small makeshift room here. As that grabs your attention, a man falls from the second story walkway to the floor of the open worship chambers. He is
I
going...
looked from the window where he left.
He did not leap. He fell. He is face down on the... he is face down on the ground. It doesn't look like he's hurt. He starts picking himself up, placing his hands on the ground. He is armed, and I guess it's like, and he's in leather armor.
Hey, you all right?
He's going to look up at all of you and say, you're all new in town. Brings you to Larenstar.
And I looked at Dila.
Dila does not know this man. Does he know her? That was the other check. I needed to. Alright. Dila is going to say, the Wolfa Forge and used to run, it was fueled on the natural springs under this town. The waters could ignite flames. Their heat was legendary. He's going to... He's gonna just like put his hand on his side of his cheek for a second, and then say, "Oh, are you talking? Are you talking about the Reeves? The Reeves Forge over inside of their keep, or inside of their manor?" Dila's going to nod and say, "Yes, but." Once the water cooled, it would flow out of the... it would flow into the well in the center of town. It appears that the fountain no longer flows. He's gonna shrug and says, "Oh, hasn't for some time. I think it was making everybody sick." Dila is gonna then think and say, "Well, did the Reeves block the flow then from the forge?" The man is gonna shrug and say, I know, I keep my head about me in this town. I don't go messing with the Ruby Alliance. I do all my thieving inside of Kalu, and then I do all of my business inside of Kalu, and then I come back here.
I'd like to lock eyes with this guy and let him know that I am also a fellow man of the dark.
How do you say that?
Well, I just want to do it in the eye glance and kind of let him...
You do have a special language of thieves that you know, called Thieves' Cant.
I do know Thieves' Cant. I would like to say, hello, brother.
Yeah, he's gonna kind of like nod back at you and say, another cutthroat. Everybody else hears that as sunshine always helps the flowers grow.
Brandon.
Mm-hmm.
Dealing with Drelos before, would I understand that he's... not that I understand it, but I understand he's talking in Thieves' Cant?
It's exasperated gibberish sentences to you. Like, what about flowers? Okay. I mean, you can assume.
Alright. Can I put on my Helm of Comprehend language?
You can. Doesn't it take attunement?
Nope.
But yeah, you can put on the Helm of Comprehend languages. He doesn't say anything else in that language.
Neither do I. It's just a greeting.
All right, so
Kind of let him, hopefully let him know that he can trust us.
Bonvi is going to step into this. Ooh, what happened? Where is this stuff? My roll 20 just derped out. Okay, that's weird. Anyways, what? Okay, I'm gonna reload roll 20, but I can keep DMing without it.
You did get my message, by the way, Brandon, right?
I did, yes. Vanvi has stepped in.
Okay.
Alright, so anyways, Vanvi steps into this temple. And Vanvi's perception's 24, correct?
27, actually.
Okay, 27, cool. Vanvi is going to notice the party is talking to a man. He's got one hand behind his head casually as he's conversing back and forth with them. the other resting lightly on his sword at his waist. It is a sheathed longsword.
Okay.
However, there is another woman behind a pillar on the far side of the room. She has a longbow drawn and trained on the party. It does not seem that anybody is aware of her. The bow itself has metal laced throughout it. It does not look like
her with a 22 passive, would I?
No, you would not
Gotcha.
have.
Von V has.
She rolled a 23. That's why I had to ask. I was pretty sure Von V had like a 24 or higher.
Yeah, and it is higher. I'm going to use.
But yeah, Admir puts on his helmet. What is going on? Come on. Okay, there
I'm
we go.
going to. Does the woman look like she's noticed me yet, or no?
Oh yeah, she's noticed the whole party. Stepping in.
Oh! I thought she was focused so much on the party she might not have noticed me walk in.
No. Yeah, you did not walk in with a stealth check.
That's fair. I'm gonna look at her and remain quiet for a moment before. And she's the only other person around doing just a casual glance.
Yeah, that Von V notices. Okay, there we go. I don't know why, but I just got a huge lag spike from Roll20, but it's back working for me.
All right. Oh, there's metal lace throughout the bow.
Mm-hmm.
Von V is going to calmly state.
Oh, the rest of the party notices Von V walk in.
As she's not looking at the party, she's looking at somebody else, and say, "Oh boy, I don't think we're here for any trouble. If you were to undraw your bow, I'm sure we can talk about things calmly."
The man is going to say, "Bow? What bow?" He looks around, and I assume Von V's like looking at the lady. He's going to follow your glance and say, "Huh? Oh, that's probably Annan. She's an assassin. She'll kill you right dead where you stand." He turns and says, Hey, Annan! They're not cops! Wait, you guys aren't cops, right? Because you'd have to tell me if you are.
Nope.
I'm pretty far from a cop. Can I wink at what's her name?
You cannot see her. But I will allow you guys stealth or perception checks with advantage, as she has been pointed out. But it doesn't even matter because she's going to step around from the pillar, bow drawn, with a arrow that looks silvered on it, pointed at the party. She is.
When I see her, I want to wink at her now.
Okay. She's gonna say, "I'm listening. Not many people come into this. Temple anymore."
Well, we kind of came here because mountains dried up. We figured statue of Emiya, temple of Emiya. Maybe we can find something going on here, but place looks pretty empty. And if you guys are living here, I'm assuming it's been empty for a while.
She's going to nod and say, "My sister was the sage. She died when the water turned foul."
Oh, okay.
No one's came to the town to inspect it since.
Out of curiosity, I'm trying to remember because I was just told this name. What was the name of the person that the old lady said?
She was not old. She was a peasant in the
The blonde.
yeah. She was a peasant in the prime of her life.
I had a brain fart. What was the name of the person that the lady told me to visit if I wanted to?
Lord
if I
Reeve.
Did this
Reeve.
happen shortly after Lord Reeves came here?
And she is going to think for a moment and say, the Reeves family has lived here for centuries. The man's gonna nod and say, yep. In service to the Bredricks on land inside of their province's name.
Huh. But Lord Reeves, I guess the head of the family, was he here the entire time, or has he been traveling up until recently?
They each roll a history check. Man's gonna say, well, there wasn't a Lord Reeves that I knew about. But Lady Reeves, she left with Lord Bredrick when he went to, he starts snapping. Annan, bow still drawn. It says, Betrayer's Isle. And it says, yeah, Betrayer's Isle. Left in, Lord Bredrick left, put his son in charge of Kalu, took what sworn bannerman he could with him, and went to join the fight against. Start snapping again. The woman says, the Archblight. Oh, yeah, Siegfried beats her to it. And says, yeah, the Archblight. Reckon Lady Reeve did the same. You know, everybody wanted to be like Karis.
How long ago was it?
The woman's gonna say 3 years.
And how long ago did the water stop flowing here?
Well, more like how long ago did the water start getting people sick?
Let's see if they remember. She's going to say, 2 years, maybe. It felt so long.
Hey,
The reason why I ask, again, would you please kindly undraw your bow, where clearly if we were meant to hurt you, we might have done so already. Says calmly, can I
Roll me a persuasion check. Yes, you can. You can do exactly that.
And I'm going to use... Yeah, I rolled a 24.
Okay. She is going to slowly lower the bow. She does not unlock the arrow.
That's fair. It's just... I just wanted you to understand that we are not here to hurt. As I couldn't quite recognize what kind of staff this was, but the lady that was in the argument I dealt with earlier happened to have a staff like this, and shows to the party the staff that the drawing that she made of the staff that she was waving around, stating that she was going to curse the man for upselling her for hemp seeds.
that seems a bit much.
He was upselling it for almost 6 times the price. About
Brandon.
6 times the price.
What's up, Anthony?
Looking at the staff and hearing what Von V is saying, can I roll an Arcana to try to decipher what it might be?
Yeah, go ahead.
For context, I rolled a 27 on the performance of drawing that thing.
Yeah.
I think you sent it to DM only, because
Yeah, I saw both of those rolls though.
Yep.
I'm gonna use 2 sorcery points to give him for the D4 for bend luck.
Okay.
So 30.
you are going to look at this thing and inspect it closely, and it's just like, for a second you get a strike of terror, but then you're just like, wait a second, Mommy's imagination is playing tricks on you. It looks like that staff reminds you of one you've seen in history books before, crafted of demon blood. And it was not Bane. Opposite of Bane. Here we go.
Yeah, Bless, I think.
Bless is the good one, Bane is the bad one.
Well, yeah, but Demon's Bane, is bad against Demon.
The gift. There we go. Gift of Fian Irisith. And what that registers in your mind, like earlier, Anthony, you remember how we were talking about devils, and Alexis is the title given to an archdevil. Yeah. Fian is the title given to a very powerful demon lord. Which, why a peasant would have anything like that is beyond your level of like, there's no way! No!
Vonvi, I need you to let me know, full on right now. Are you sure this is what this looked like? And that's what it did.
I started drawing the staff as soon as I was done talking to them both, and as soon as after I realized that this thing was magical, although I couldn't quite discern what it was, and she was casually casting a curse, and told me that if I wanted to, and then told me that name if I wanted to learn more about necrotic magic.
Hearing all that, everyone's gonna see Admir go white.
Dila is going to...
I get to kill someone.
Dila is going to nod. And before she opens her mouth to speak, Anne is going to speak up and say, Lord Reeves, Lord Reeve has been coming across powerful magical artifacts for the past 2 months. Those things have been appearing in this region like wildfire.
You're telling me there's more staffs like this one?
She shakes her head and says, not staffs. She's going to step forward with her bow and take the metal casing off of it. You see her undo the handguard. All of the parts where the metal covers and winds around. As soon as she unfastens it and gets it off, you can see there are black veins going through her bow too, and she's going to say all types of magical artifacts. Been finding them around the countryside. Dila is going to say ancient Ardorians bound demons in this land that they couldn't kill, but there's no reason those bindings should be lapsing.
Unless someone undid it.
She is going to ask Anan and say, have you noticed recently any changes to the climate or territory, the lands around here? Any place a demon lord might be residing? The woman's going to shake her head and say, oh, water's been foul for quite some time. Dila's going to nod, just absorbing all of this.
Dila, you said the water is underground, right?
That guy was
She nods.
selling the seeds for a pretty high price. Could be because the crops were affected too.
Probably. He did state that with the war going on and on how bad things were, as I said, he was selling them he was selling it back for 3 gold. So
How much do they normally cost? Like 6 times?
6. They know I could buy them back home for about 5 silver. So yeah, 6 times.
Could be a regional thing. Still, 6. Wow.
Hence why I immediately started drawing it as soon as I couldn't identify it myself. I thought possibly one of you could do it. Glad I was right.
So, Admire, Dila, Headmistress, what is this thing? Staff. What you both got pretty freaked out there.
What I understood is that it looked like it was just falling apart with the amount of ash dropping from it, and she kept insisting that it would curse them. She didn't, from what I could tell, the woman didn't even know that it worked.
That could have been my bad on the description, Wolf. I did not mean that it was falling apart from the ash. It looked like it was producing ash.
Okay, so
like as she shook it, it kind of looked like it was snowing just because it just kept making ash.
Okay, now, yeah, then Vonvi would state that, like, it was constantly producing ash, and she insisted on cursing somebody with it, but she clearly didn't know much about magic. Besides that she could get what she wants with it.
Siegfried.
Yep.
Do you know anything about black candles of invocation?
I mean, I know it. Should I roll an Arcana check, Brandon?
No. If you as a player know it, I can say, Siegfried's came across it in his mercenary work for the Arcane University. Probably confiscated 1 or 2.
Like, give me that, kid. No, they're pretty bad. I think they have something to do with demons.
They're made with demons. Let me put it to you in this perspective. If the black handle of invocation, if you were to compare that to the power of a normal citizen, that staff that woman is carrying, if it is what I think it is Dila.
Oh. Looks like we're not gonna have a friendly talk with the Lord. Get the water flowing again.
Dila is going to say, nonsense. Our Dorians are all about honor and the like. You talk to the Lord. I'm going to go find that peasant and buy that staff from her. She clearly shouldn't be walking around with something like that.
Would you like me to
really
accompany
see
you
the
to
best
spot her?
in people, don't you?
Dila is going to say, I'm well over 3,000 years old. I no longer require a babysitter.
I'm not here to babysit you.
No, saying that, responding to Siegfried.
Oh. No, but you know what? Let it come out wrong. Either way, we have to deal with this situation. If the Lord is under control of a demon, the Lord is a demon in disguise because they killed the original Lord. Who knows? Should just get this whole thing fixed.
The man's gonna put out his hand, finally removing it from resting on his sword, and say, well, my name's Sign. If you're going around stealing artifacts from people who aren't deserving of them, I can help you out with a little bit of stealing. I want half the cut, though. And then is going to step forward and say, ahem. And he's going to say, oh, Sorry, 60% of the cut. 30 for me, 30 for her.
We have a Dreylos.
I'll help you out.
He's gonna say 90% of the cut. 30 for me, 30 for him, 30 for her. 10 for you.
No, he's one of us.
For now.
Yeah, Sign's gonna say, and Thieves can't, to Dreylos and say, I mean, you know, if you want to split it all between us, we can do that. You know, honor among thieves, man. Everybody else hears a lovely poem about, leaky privies.
Where?
Since I still have my helmet on, do I understand him?
Yes, you do.
Admir's just gonna look at him and say, "Do you want to keep the hand you had on your sword? I suggest you stop talking."
I mean, you know.
Go up these camp. I'm gonna say, let's talk about this later.
Yeah, he's gonna adjust himself and say, you know, we can settle for 40%. Just when you find things you need taken, just let us know.
We will.
Sign waves at you guys. Annan finally unnocks her arrow, placing it back in her quiver.
If that's another demon weapon, I would be very careful using that bow.
She's gonna nod and says, yes, it kills people very well.
It could also kill you.
I'd
very
like to high five her.
Would I make an Arcana or a Religion check to see, to give her an accurate warning of how bad of a weapon it can be?
I would say you can do either.
Okay. Let me see which one I'm better at then. I'm actually equal on both, so let's just do Arcana. 14. Easily can she kill herself if she doesn't know what she's doing.
Looking at that bow and not having like a huge amount of knowledge into like demonic weapons, yeah, it could probably hurt her. As to what? It's not gonna really come to Von V's mind. You are aware some curses, though, are less physical and more mental. Like, sometimes items can curse you in that you never want to part with them, and things like that. And she could even be under, like, a curse that, you know, she doesn't know she's affected by. Might not ever even kill her. But to answer your question, like, it doesn't look like it's particularly dangerous, but you're not sure what could happen.
From what I know, from what little I know, I would make sure your friends keep a sanity check on you. Make sure you're not willing to. Make sure that you're not just enjoying on how powerful it is, but perhaps can't even let it go even when you're asleep. Just as a fair warning of what it might be able to do to you.
She's going to nod, finally resting the bow on her back. Dila's going to give a small bow of thanks and turn to leave. She's going to whisper to the party of whoever is following her. And
I'd be right there.
yeah.
Bonvi.
And she's going to say, get a beat on this lord. I have a small hunch that Olivia might not be in this region to recruit pirates.
I want to actually stay behind, and I'm going to turn to my two new best friends and ask if they're interested in any trade.
If they're interested in a trade?
I've got some interesting stuff they might be interested in.
Okay. No, I was just asking you to clarify. I didn't. Your mic's a little quiet, so it was just hard for me here. I just turned you up, though. All right. So yeah, Sign and Annan. Annan moves the has moved the flap of her room, and was starting to go inside of it to reside. And she pauses with her hand on the flap, looking back at you. Sign is gonna rub his two hands together and say, you're trading? Gold or goods?
Good, you know it.
He's going to take a step forward, and say, okay, what do you have?
Well, I have some stuff that I'm not supposed to, if you know what I mean. Do you have any interesting artifacts that you do not currently use?
He's going to gesture to his sword and say, well, my sword's probably one of those demon thingamajigs too. We got Annan's bow. Oh, you know what? We've got some of her sister's old holy stuff over in the Order House.
I'd be very interested in that.
Annan is going to say her relics are not for trading. He's going to say, yeah. I think I got a stash of stuff somewhere around here. He's going to walk out of this room. A few minutes later, you see him walk back in on the second floor, where he fell from earlier. He is going to throw 3 items off of a random chart down. Let's see.
Hopefully none of these are fragile.
Yeah, he throws a hat that falls down gracefully on the wind. He does throw a vial that is in a pouch. And finally, he is going to throw a he's going to throw a mannequin arm of a or he's going to throw an arm of a mannequin from an armor stand down. Draelos is going to see on the arm is a ring. He peeks over the...
What do I have to do to identify this stuff?
He peeks over the side of the railing and says, I'll be down in... And the railing gives out on him and he falls down again.
I like this.
As you start looking at this stuff, it's gonna be either a very high Arcana check or an Identify spell to determine exactly what it does, or meditating on it for a short rest. But
I would like to ask him, and I want to perceive whether or not he is lying.
Yeah, that he's gonna point to the hat and say, "Well, I got the hat in Kalu. It can make you look like somebody else. Really good for stealing a bunch of stuff." He points to the vial and say, "That one. Some sages came through the town when the sickness was getting really bad before they cut off the fountain. I nabbed it off them before they left. Tastes real good, makes you feel good." And he is going to point towards the ring and says, "I don't know what that does. Found it on a merchant headed into Kalu. Got on the cart, dismantled the armor stand, and just thought the arm was neat."
I want to get a little bit closer look at that ring, and I guess I'm going to try for the Holy Grail Arcana test.
Believe! Alright.
Any sort of insight to what that might be?
Let me look at what you rolled. I was in a different tab. 13. Well, the ring does not have those black veins running through it. Likely not cursed. It is silver, and there are 2 ornate horned animals on it, though. You can't... It is magical. It's like you run your finger across it. It seems to hum with a magical aura. You're not certain what it does.
I'm interested in this ring here. How would you feel about some poison to trade with? Seems to be kind of up your guys' alley.
He's gonna say, "Oh no, I leave the killing to Annan." And Annan's gonna walk over, pick up the mannequin's arm, and offer it forward, and say, "What you got?"
I'm gonna produce from my bag of holding 1 blue death sludge poison.
She's gonna look it over and say, "Make it 2."
I've got a blue death blood poison, and I have 1 vial of traditional poison. That's all I'm willing to do.
Yeah, she tosses you the mannequin arm. Sign is gonna say, "That was mine!" She's gonna say, "It's been up there for weeks. You weren't gonna use it." He's gonna shrug and say, "I don't know, look real good for punching people with." She takes the poisons gingerly.
I'm going to take the ring off the mannequin arm, and I'm going to tell Fine to put up his hand for a high five, and when he does, give him a high five with the mannequin arm and let him take it back.
Alright. Yeah, he's gonna look enthusiastic at the mannequin arm and high five you.
So about getting some more artifacts, where would I look?
Sign is gonna say, well, they mostly come from the Lord's Manor. Lord Reeve hands them out for favors. Annan took a job and got our bow and sword, and ever since then we haven't really been needing for weapons. Don't need to maintain them, don't have to rub them with oil, don't have to sharpen them. They just shrugs and says they just stay good. But if you're looking to take some from other people, I hear... Let's see... I hear, around the forge they got some stored up, but over at Anor's carving shop, I think they just got a couple over there too. Otherwise, you might see a couple people working the farms from in and out of the town, walking around with them. Lord Reeves gives them out. Our Lord Reeves gave them to kind of keep the peasants happy and in line. He doesn't have the charismatic political charm of his mother. He shrugs and says, "Nobles for you, though, am I right?"
The only thing they're good for is taking from them.
He's gonna slap you on the back with the mannequin ion and say, "Yeah, that's right."
Out of character, this is so cute.
Did Draelos just find a boyfriend?
Maybe.
All right.
I'm gonna turn to both of them, and I'm gonna ask them to keep an eye out for particularly interesting artifacts and let me know. But I'm gonna also ask them, what are you guys sticking around here for?
He is going to say, "Oh, Lord Bredrick's real lazy about stuff. Doesn't make his knights patrol the outer steads anymore. Goes on hunts to the north. Kalu's real good for thieving. You get good with Lady Livis, and you pretty much do whatever you want." He points towards the direction of the Reeve Manor, and says, "Why, we've been living right here under Reeve's nose this whole time for about a year and a half now. Settled up well inside of Larenstar. Doesn't even seem to care as long as we don't bother his ruby merchants."
Well, thank you so much for all the wonderful, this interesting ring and some useful information. I'm sure we can get together and work something out if we come across something interesting.
He's going to nod as he's kneels down. He picks up the hat and the vial, and he's going to say, "Yeah, don't stay a stranger while you're in town."
Can I put them down as what's it called? Criminal
Contacts, sign and Annan.
Yeah.
I feel like he'd be offended if you called him a criminal.
No, he's my buddy now.
No, I'm kidding. You can assign them as criminal contacts. I have a good idea of what's happening in this region. All right. I'm assuming Draelos leaves after that.
Yep, and I would like to try and catch up with the rest of the group.
Okay. You are going to be able to do so in a couple minutes. The rest of the party, where are you headed? I should have described the town to you. If you look to the southwestern part of the town, you can see the walled-off manor. It is an elaborate noble's estate. It is rising from over the towered wall. There are two plumes of smoke and steam rising from the manor. Then the market square is still going, even though it seems people are settling in. On the far eastern side of town, there is an inn that you see named the Stout Wizard. And on the northern side of town, you see a workshop crafted of wood. And that's everything notable here. Where and what are you guys doing?
Vonvi is going to first ask Luna, because apparently she only understands the Undercommon right now. Do you remember the peasant woman with that staff that we interacted with?
Luna is going to nod and brush her beak against you.
Gonna softly scratch her head as Vonvi replies, well, we're gonna help Dila try and find her and get that staff from her. Think you can track it down?
Luna's going to caw and then stretch its wings and then flies into the air. Dila is going to start walking eastward, looking up at her.
Yep, Vonvi's gonna follow.
How about the rest of the party?
I guess we should try to get an audience with the Lord, then.
I guess. Schedule? What, do they go by schedule? I don't know the bureaucracy. place.
I'm not 100% sure myself. Nobles are not really my forte. Or should we wait for Draelos? For whatever the hell he's doing?
I catch up when things happen.
Might as well. Guess we'll tell Dila and Von V if there's. We're going to see if we can schedule a meeting with the Lord.
Okay. All right. So, Dila and Vanvi head eastward. The rest of the party head southwest towards the Lord's Manor.
Should we send Ion with them so they have three?
Oh yeah, Nyan is with you guys. Nyan, I'm gonna roll them in evens or odds. Evens, they head with Dila. Odds, they stay with you. 7.
That's all.
Oh, odds. Yeah, they stay with you. Sorry, brain fart. Anyways, yeah, Nyan is going to say, no, this lord's doing bad stuff. I want to meet him.
Nyan, can I just say real quick, don't say anything that'll piss him off.
Nyan's gonna nod and say, nah, I'm pretty likable. Lots of people like me.
Yeah, but I'd say don't mention the whole he's doing bad stuff.
They snap and nod and say, I can see how, yeah.
Yeah, we don't want to get into a fight. Yeah.
All right.
As we're walking, I'd like to speak with Admir, because something just came to mind. So, they say the water was making people sick. Water comes from the forge. Do you think the water that was corrupted was a runoff from them using that forge to make demonic weapons? Maybe that was like their trial run, and that started getting people sick?
It's possible. I'm more inclined to believe that where these weapons are coming, that particular staff. Do you know anything about the hierarchy of demons?
Not much. Don't really deal with much.
Well, that staff is a gift from a very high powered and high rank.
Or at least a replica of it, right? Because I don't think this random old lady walking around would only use some really high powerful magical artifact to randomly curse some.
That's why Dila is going to check the validity. If it is, it's very possible that it long. If that's true, it's very possible that the spring that the water comes from is where the demon is.
But why would it just stop work? Like, why would it become corrupted? If seal down there, you don't think the water was used to help seal it, and now that it's loose, it corrupted it?
Exactly. You forget what that water, what deal. Holy water is not just good against shatterers.
You know, we never asked them why was the temple abandoned.
My guess, if the water was a representation of Umia, where do you think their anger would come out of if the water was corrupted?
They may not want me there, but I can get it.
Draelos. This is very important as well. Because apparently I can't trust you, Vonvi, and our new friend here not to be stupid. Sneaking into a place that's distributing items that are comparable to the bombs that your master is making, if not stronger. Not the smartest idea.
Draylos has no master.
You're right. He's
I
dead.
hear what you're saying. He wasn't my master. He was just my friend.
I thought he was your instructor.
Nope. He was just my he was a coworker. Me and him were tight.
Regardless, not a great idea to sneak around and try to do that from kind of. The reason Vila wants us to talk and get an idea about it is so we can try to still. If this breaks out.
Understood. I won't shake any trees. I won't work under bushes. It's all good.
Draylos is going to hear in his mind, you can sneak in when the sun goes down and they see us.
I'll just nod at him.
All right.
While it's on our part of the party, which of my two compatriots here is best at identifying objects?
Vonvi, but I can take a look.
Hey, Vanvi.
It is not here.
Not here.
She's gone.
Yeah.
Zoot Alor. Alright. I'll hold on to it then.
I mean, I can try an Arcana to at least discern the enchantments.
Yeah. I'm going
If Brandon would allow me.
I'm going to pull out this ring that I just got and say, hey guys, I just acquired this from our good friends now, and I'd love to know a little bit more about it.
Here, I'll try to see what I can do.
Give me that Arcana.
Alright, I'm gonna use my wild magic to give myself advantage,
Okay.
and 2 sorcery points for a plus d4. Oh wow, that's a terrible roll.
That's the same exact roll that he rolled.
Well, I got a 17 out of it.
Yeah, 17. Let's see. Looking at this ring. You are going to determine that the looking at this ring, you are going to like just meditate on it, like discern it over, turn it over, and you're not quite sure what it is. You do suspect that it is able to produce some sort of force spell, and you are also able to surmise that the command word for it is Blue Solace, as it comes to your mind looking it over.
Can't tell you exactly what it does, but it seems to discern or cast some kind of spell out of it with a command word.
But can he tell me the command word without initiating it? It's, after all, it's going to go back to my hand now.
Once I hand it back to you, I'll look at you. It looks, or from what I can tell and what seems to come to mind, Blue Solace is not something I would probably do in the middle of an open area without knowing exactly what it does.
Probably requires attunement.
You might need to attune to it.
You know, while we're on the subject of magical items, armor I got. We never checked to see if there was anything about it, did we?
I thought they told us what magic it had.
If If it did, I don't remember.
Yeah, I thought like Brandon said there was something about it, maybe, but
I remember telling
yeah,
you
yeah.
that I was going to factor it into your AC whenever it was relevant.
Yeah, whenever it was relevant.
Take a moment and try to discern it as well if you want.
Couldn't hurt. We might be getting into a fight.
I'm going to quickly burn a first level spell slot to build back up my sorcery points a little bit. I'm down to 1. First level gives me 2, so I should have enough to just through it. And go ahead and roll an Arcana, Brandon.
Yeah.
And hold on for the D4. 19.
The armor is infused. You're not wholly certain what it's infused with, but it is magical. You're able to lightly scratch it with like a dagger or a letter opener or something that Admir has, and you see it starts to mend itself.
Can't tell the exact enchantments on it, but it's definitely got an infusion. Seems like it's definitely magical. Some.
I was muted. Well, I guess this is best we can get now. Let's get moving.
Von V would be the one who'd have to identify them fully for you guys, but it's the best
Yeah.
I can do on a short notice.
No, that's fine. Honestly, I was hoping we could rest and do it, but considering how things were going, this is the best we can get right now. Probably for a while, anyway.
Well, given the circumstances, I don't think Dila wants to leave this town right away now.
Works out
Oh,
for
let's
us.
go off to the Lord, and while we're traveling there, I charge both of you with being observant of any guards or anything that might be useful. This is general practice.
All right. Walking into the walking into the Reeve Manor, or rather into their courtyard. The main road that leads into here. There are 3 guards patrolling. One standing watch the whole time. And there is a iron barred gate here. And it is evens open, odds shut. Odds.
Brandon.
It is closed. Yes?
Just so you're aware, and while we're walking, I'm just going to burn my last 3 first level spell slots to give myself 6 more sorcery points, okay?
Oh yeah, that's fine. Alright. The guards seeing you approach, the gatekeeper is going to walk up to your group and say, "Hail, travelers! Brings you to the manor."
Hail. We would like to know if we could schedule some time to meet with the Lord of this manor.
He's gonna look at the other guards, and then they look at each other, and they're going to shrug, and he's gonna say, "Well, yeah, if you want to schedule something, you have to talk to the steward of the grounds. I can escort you to the front door of the manor, but I got no authority to give you Lord Reeves' time."
That works perfectly.
They're going to open the gate as he begins as he walks through, leading you. As you are walking down this thoroughfare? I don't feel like that's the right word.
Courtyard.
Concourse. There we go. Nope, concourse is what it is, leading up to a large estate. He's going to say, Siegfried's perception's 22?
Yep.
Yeah. This place is beautiful. As you are walking by. All of the topiaries and plants decorating this thoroughfare look fantastic from your perspective on the ground. But you notice the top of them look a little pale, and the longer you walk and the more you take notice, the more apparent it becomes, and the less real these look. The paleness is sun bleaching. They are painted. They are very, very nice statues, though, of plants. Anyways, though, the man is going to speak up and say, what's the nature of your visit?
Look at Admir.
Potential business offer.
He's going to say, well, the steward's name is Erethem. He's not really from these lands. He comes off a little bit. The man bites his teeth and says, ambitious. But an Ardorian's an Ardorian through and through.
Where's he from?
Man is going to roll a history check. And he's gonna shrug and say, some Ryaner.
Well, if he's ambitious, then he would jump at joy for the opportunity to work with some outside sources, don't you think?
He shrugs and says, does plenty of outside work. It's not really any of my business, though, to go questioning his means. As you climb the stairs leading to the front of this manor, he raps against the door before two servants open it. Admir is going to... Well, Admir and Siegfried and Vonvi and Nyan are going to notice these servants.
Not there.
Oh, I'm sorry, not Vonvi. Nyan... Drelos, there we go. Are going to notice these servants each have a leather collar with a white Velpier buckle on them around their neck. They are going to they're gonna say, yes, how can our services be of assistance? The guard gestures to you and says they want to speak to the stewards, schedule a meeting with Lord Reeve. They're going to nod. One walks in and heads left. The other turns to a hallway to the right, gesturing for you to follow them.
Do so.
All right.
Yep, follow them.
The guard leaves you at the door. She leads you inside of a dining room. There is an elaborate dark maple table here. The room is decorated with pictures of Lady Reeve in her prime. in all different valiant poses and situations. There is one of her son under the picture of Lord Reeves. Lord Reeve, there is a very, very nice oath blade mounted on the wall. You have about 3 minutes in this chamber if you want to talk amongst yourselves before anything happens.
Could I cast? Or we just they just leave us by ourselves?
The one of the slaves is tending to you. She's standing in the corner.
Now I have a question for you, Brandon. Does Divine Sense have anything external? Does anything indicate that I would have cast it?
You open your senses, so it's just like closing your eyes and taking a minute to just be more aware. It does not have any command phrases or triggers.
Okay, so I will cast Divine Sense.
Okay. And it is blocked by full cover, I believe.
That is not behind total cover. Yeah, 60 feet. That is not behind total cover.
Yeah.
I guess walls would be total cover.
Yeah, it is going. You aren't going to feel anything innately resonate as evil. Admir.
It doesn't sense evil. It senses demons and stuff.
Yeah.
And stuff.
Never mind. You don't feel anything.
I wanted to look at it, so I can't look at Admir funny.
Mm-hmm. All right.
I never said I was a good person. You never asked.
Mm-hmm. Actually, he did ask. He specifically asked at the start of the session, "Are you good people who help others?"
And I never answered.
Yeah.
And Bonby was the only one to actually help out with the...
Which is good. You saved a merchant from getting cursed.
I just want to, when I asked that, I was trying to know, so are we are you all the type of people to just go and help random strangers? No, you're not? Mm-hmm. Okay. I just wanted to know. I want to fit in.
Mm-hmm.
Be not caring who does it.
All right. As you are waiting in this room, a man finally walks in. He's got long ears that denote him as a Dorai. He's also got a elaborate ruby amulet on, denoting him as part of the Ruby Alliance. He has his hands together, and he's got black earrings in his ears and a crimson and gold set of robes. He's going to look at each of you and as he steps into the room, followed by the other slave, and say, "My name is Erithim. I'm the steward of these grounds. It's my understanding you want to meet with Lord Reeve?"
Yes, we were hoping to set up a meeting.
Was there a concern you would like voiced?
More of a proposition.
He raises an eyebrow.
We hear he likes hiring people for tasks that... for tasks outside of the,
I think you cut out outside of the...
outside of the manor.
The manor. He is going to say, Lord Reeve prefers to hire and source his business and labor from within the town. Those who pledge his name are some of the happiest and most well cared for serfs in all of Ilderon. If any labor or opportunities should arise, I can contact you. Do tell, what is your name and your occupation?
My name is Admiral Shrogi.
I am at Drelos Crestmoon, and I am a professor at the university.
I'm Siegfried Elfstein. I'm a mercenary.
He's going to look at Drelos and say, that dreadful university. It was somebody from those halls that started putting all of those thoughts in Lord Reeves' mind. Do tell, is that a high elf, or that high elf defactor still running it these days?
Most of the time.
If you'll be so kind, what thoughts?
He's going to say, tried to use Wolfa's Forge as a cauldron to brew some potion, messed the whole thing up. It's been that way for nearly 2 years now.
Really? Do you know the name of the person from the university that tried to have the potion brewed?
He is going to roll a history check. And says, no, was some grandiose adventurer. Came through, passed through town and went out east. It was long ago. But his gaze narrows on Drelos and says, I know an Arcanist when I see one. Always come around toting their attributed knowledge.
I'm more of a practical knowledge. I'm not.
He's going to nod and say, I'm sure you're just an hours away from waving your degree in my face. That said, I harbor no ill will towards you, and I will make sure you get your meeting with the Lord, but any jobs that he needs done, he simply provides me with the list. I have distributed them out throughout the town already.
We do appreciate you setting up a meeting, regardless.
He is going to nod, and let's see. Somebody roll me a D100. I think that's the easiest way to do it. Whoever wants to roll it. Oh, I was gonna say that was a 2 out of a D100. Alright, a 49. That's just under average. The man is going to say, I can fit you in at sunrise tomorrow if you care to come.
I think that would be perfect. Don't you all agree?
Yeah. We just probably need to find an inn, get some rest.
Sounds great.
Alright.
Do you know of any particularly good inns in the area that we could stay the night at?
He's going to say, we contract Bimra to run the Stout Wizard on the eastern side of town, and it's Larenstar Stead's only inn. If you want any place finer or cheaper, you'll have to go into back into Kalu.
I think that's perfect. Plus, it would allow you to, if need be, get a hold of us. Since we'll be there, it'll be easier to track us down that way.
He is going to nod and then say, well, I wouldn't address you as Lord. I would say Master Shragi, Drelos, and Master Milstein. Until we meet tomorrow morning.
Until tomorrow. Thank you for your time.
He's going to walk out, followed by the one slave. The other one's going to open the door for you and lead you back to the front of the estate. She's going to ask, should I fetch the guards to escort you back?
I don't think that'll be necessary. I don't see us getting lost between here and the front gate, do you?
Hope not.
She is going to bow and then close the door. The patrolling guards near the front gate spare you guys like a passing glance before they continue walking around the main street.
As we enter out, I'm gonna look at Drelos and laugh. Harbors no ill will, yet he addresses you by your first name.
Well, I don't think Drelos gave him his last name. I thought he said I'm Drelos and I teach at the university.
I said Drelos Crestman.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry. He would have called you Crestmoon. That was my bad.
No, it's funnier that way.
Well,
I find it funnier that he says he didn't harbor any ill will and then did that.
Actually, I'll keep it. It happened as is intentionally.
I like the whole flash, and we'll talk about it after. After the whole session.
If we've already left now, I want to try and pick up supplies to imbue my daggers tonight.
Okay.
Try. I don't know if we'll be able to find anywhere that sells infusions here in this town.
Hey, Eric, you remember that town that camp we worked in was at Makachuan? What was the name of the town? Not Anago, not Rhinelander. Pearson. And it was unincorporated, and it was like 5 buildings made up the entire town.
Yeah.
Like, you are in a Pearson situation. What you see is the entirety of the settlement. Like, an hour and a half march back in the other direction will get you back to Kalu. But this is just, on the outlands of the town. Trying to find...
Basically, this is Pearson with Antigo, like, an hour and a half away.
Yeah, exactly. Like, and for everybody who didn't get that reference, the summer camp we used to work at was, like, out in the middle of nowhere. And it was, like, 40 minutes towards, like, the nearest town. And it was,
the closest laundromat was, like, 45 minutes away.
Yeah. All that's around you is just fields and farms. But that said, you aren't really going to be able to find, like, new age magical materials here unless you're looking for demon blood artifacts. Which, who knows?
Can we find demon blood infusion kits?
You know what? I'll roll your percentage die on that.
Imbue your dagger with demon powers?
Yeah, you are not exactly sure, but we'll see. Alright, so Does the party want to do anything else before I switch to Vonvi?
We're gonna have to find Dila and let her know what the situation is.
Well, we can let it cut to the other party, and eventually, when the people want to come go to sleep, like we've got the room.
Yeah, but you know Dila, Dralos. There's a 50% chance she'll just take off.
No, she wants to find out what's going on with this Lord Reeve. She's gonna come back. This is actually something that she cares about.
That and needing water flowing.
She'll come back.
Alright.
But I still think we should probably go to them rather than get in the room first.
How's this? Dralos, why don't you and... I can't remember the other person's name.
Nyan?
Nyan. Go secure us some rooms. Me and Siegfried will head and try to find Dila.
Nyan is going to skip away and say, I got it! Heading toward the stout wizard. Dralos can go with the party, or you can go with Nyan.
Do we even know if Nyan has any money?
That does not seem to stop them.
I'll go to the stout wizard, and if while waiting for the rest of the party, I'll just do some frivolous gambling.
Okay. Alright. Jumping over to Vonvi. You guys head eastward out of town, heading to a farmhouse, not too far away from the town, in one of the fields. You see in the distance Luna swoop down, and you see who you think is the woman, who the woman is with the who had the staff. She, in the distance, you see she was kneeling in the field, appearing to be tilling soil, until Luna swoops down. At which point she runs towards the house. Luna cuts her off. By the time you and Dila approach, she has grabbed her staff off the porch and is in a tugging match with Luna over it.
Vonvi is going to state in an calm down, Luna. We're not going to be taking it from her unwillingly. We're willing to negotiate.
As Luna caws and lets go the staff, the woman puts two hands on it and points it at Luna and says, "The darkness that consumes me shall consume the inner spirit of you, covering you completely in the void until your mind becomes nothing. I hex thee!" The staff begins to light up.
Vonvi will again cast on it.
The staff sheds that pale light from the gray veins as the ash mists out, and nothing happens. She's gonna look at the staff and look at then look at Vonvi and say, "Oh, hey!" Then her eyebrows turn down, or squinch together as she begins to glare at Luna again. It's gonna say, "I think this thing's out of juice for today."
Probably. But, tell you about my companion. She gets a little bit eager sometimes. Mentally stating to Luna, thank you for finding her, although, again, thank you for finding her. Just play along. I know you're smarter than this. Mentally, telepathically telling her.
Yeah, And Dila is going to step forward and say, that staff you wield was quite a powerful magical artifact. I'd be willing to buy it off of you for 10,000 sea coins. The woman is going, her eyes are going to go wide and say, 10,000 sea coins? Dila's going to nod. She reaches into her satchel and pulls out a contract and says, I can have it moved from my vault and delivered to you. The woman's going to shake her head and say, wait, you're going to give me paper? No, I want the gold! Dila's gonna look over at Vanvi and she's gonna whisper, I've only got 1,000 gold pieces on me.
Vanvi is going to state, would you rather the gold... Would you think somebody would carry 10,000 sea coins on their person, especially when there's war going on, as it could easily be stolen from them by thieves?
She's gonna nod and say, yeah. And next thing I know, I head into Kalu to cash in on that ruby contract, and then I'm being arrested for some forged document. She shakes her head and says, nuh-uh, not gonna happen. I want the coins.
If
She
you would rather coins
points
currently,
the staff at Vanvi.
Besides, considering what this thing has done, every time I've seen it, it hasn't fully worked, has it?
She's gonna say, I'm pretty sure I cursed somebody in the tavern the other day to start vomiting.
I am a magic user myself, and as far as I could tell, he wasn't cursed. He didn't even start vomiting. But, if it was the one that I saw when I first met you, at least.
This staff is like still puffing out ash. And you expect smoke, but it hasn't produced any. And just like its pitch black nature almost looks like an obsidian crystal, like a large jagged multi-piece like obsidian piece of rock. And it's definitely magical. She's gonna turn it over again and say, I'm just not saying the incantation right. There's something about darkness and misery and suffering and moving it from myself to them.
How about I give you, looking at her bag, 150 sea coins.
150 sea coins?
And 50 ruby pieces.
She's gonna say, better not be no damn paper. She jabs the staff into your chest.
She is going to pull out 150 sea coins.
Holy...
And 50 ruby pieces. And state calmly. Would that help?
She's gonna scratch her head and say, well, I've been doing pretty good about learning magic, so I feel Lord Reeve could always give me another arcane focus. Alright. She gestures for the money.
Alright. And handing over the ruby pieces and the gold as she takes the staff.
She stops. She says, I want the bag too. She wants your coin purse.
Von V is going to look at Dila, gesture for her to step aside, and step back from her.
Alright.
Do you insist on taking my coin purse from me when I am trying to be reasonable?
It's gonna say it looks nice. What is that? Satin? Silk? There are no silkworms over here. Gila is gonna step forward and just put a hand on Bombi's shoulder and say, "I'll buy you another one."
She takes a slow sigh, hands Dila the coin purse for a moment to kind of put what she has in there to Dila.
Mm-hmm.
And then slowly hands her the coin purse itself, stating, "Take good care of it."
She hands you the staff. She throws up the coin pouch up and down with two hands, with an ecstatic look on her face. Dila is going to nod, giving a slight bow to the woman, and turning and walking away from the farm. She's going to whisper to, or she's going to reach into her bag and start distributing coins to Vonvi. She gives you a total of 200 gold. And she's going to say, I'll withdraw more from my vault when we're next in a city with it. And she's going to say, then we need to find a way to destroy that staff, but at least we got it out of her reckless hands for now. If we can't destroy it, we'll deposit it in the university's vault when we get back.
Yes. Great. Stating in Undercommon to Luna, you did a great job.
You can add a ashen staff to your inventory.
Alright, as we're walking, I'm thinking I might want to know a bit more about what this exactly does, considering she only seemed to try and do curses, in case it does something else. As we are walking back, I am going to ritual cast Identify on this staff.
Ritual cast, that takes 10 minutes, and you have to sit there and do the ritual. You can't do it walking.
You can't ritual cast while walking.
Oh, if that's the case, then I'll just spend a first level slot on it.
Alright. You are going to see this staff. You're going to see a group of what looks like early flamewalkers, early Sarai, venturing through these blackened fields. There is wouldn't be a tower over here this guy stayed in. There would be like a jagged structure of stone built up from the landscape. They venture inside of it, and you are going to see them fighting some huge monstrous three-headed demon. After all of them die, there is but one left. Using the blood of his companions, you see him cast a spell that encases this demon in blue crystal. From there, you see him pull up a piece of stone, which is this staff. It is obsidian black, and covered in the demon's blood. The blood is burning through the obsidian stone. And finally, you see it passed hand to hand until it's finally transferred to a fortress, sealed away for quite some time. It remains dark before finally, sometime later, you hear the sound of a pickaxe and the wall around the room that this staff is in crumbling. The staff, along with other objects, are all taken from here and moved. Then eventually you see a man looking over all of these. He points to the staff and points out, and then points to another item on the table and points out. Ultimately finding its hands eventually to the peasant lady waiting in the foyer. Until it finds its way into your hands. You can roll me a history check to try and discern the properties of this item. You are going to be aware the staff has 10 charges. It can cast it can be an action can be used to cast a spell from the staff. And the spells it can cast is using using 2 charges. It can cast Hex. Using 4 charges, it can cast not Bane. What is a 2nd level curse? Oh, Crown of Madness. And using 6 charges, it can cast Bestow Curse. If
Bestow Curse or Bestow?
Bestow Curse, sorry. If the staff reaches 0 charges, it mechanically, how do I say this? It saps magical energy from everyone within 30 feet of it to recharge itself.
Oh, okay.
And that is very dangerous.
And you said it has 10 charges?
Not anymore.
Well, no, it has a total of 10. It can hold up to a total of 10 charges.
Oh. I'll roll you a d10 of how many charges it has left. That's 4 charges left.
Okay, good. Von V is going to tell Dila.
It regains 1d4 at the start of each day.
Okay. Dila is going to state to... Von V is going to state to Dila, we should never let this staff run out of charges. As she explains what she saw to her on the way back, and states, if this thing runs out of charges, it will absorb all magic around it to fuel itself again. Seems to have siblings as well. Possibly was given out as well.
Dila is going to nod and say, we'll either destroy it or lock it in a vault. It won't be a problem. As you're walking back into town, you are going to see your party walking towards you. You guys are going to meet at, let's see, I'll do this in a different color. How about light blue? You are going to meet at the eastern edge of town. Everybody minus Drelos and Nyan are together.
Von V is going to look pale.
Hey, you guys got the staff.
Admir?
You should tell them that we're sparring. Me and Nyan are sparring. Just a kick.
Admir,
Yes.
With Shadowtooth, I know certain magical items have charges. What happens when Shadowtooth runs out of charges?
It just needs to recharge.
Okay, I'm going to state this. It is very good that we got this out of the hands of that woman. It's currently at 4 charges, and if this thing runs out of charges, no person of any magical property should be anywhere near the thing.
I guess in a sense it might be lucky then that this bum-hick town is where it was. I doubt there's anyone here with significant capabilities.
Okay.
Now you understand why that is what I thought it was then.
There was a 3-headed demon that was sealed, and she starts recounting what she saw with the identify system.
Definitely what I thought it was then. Good thing we did get it out of her hands.
Mm-hmm.
So it wasn't some kind of offshoot of the real thing then.
Mm-hmm.
Dila,
Dila looks over at you. She's walking back into town.
do you think this would be a useful tool against Olivia?
All it does is curse. Strongest thing you can do is bestow curse on somebody.
She is going to nod at Von V's statement and say, it gets its power from the components it's composed of, not that it itself is some powerful relic. And she's going to shake her head and say, the magics it's capable of, I think all of us here could cast thrice over.
I personally don't know any of these spells. I don't think I can learn, actually, some of them.
I can learn Bestow Curse and Hex.
It can also do Crown of Madness? Or Crown of Thorns, I forget which.
Crown of Madness.
It also can do Crown of Madness. I'm trying to remember if any of those spells can be learned by a bard. Hold on.
Crown of Madness can, I think.
Technically speaking, you can learn any of these spells. You just need to use them.
Yeah.
Regardless, then.
Dila's gonna speak up and say, did you find out why Lord Reeves cut off the flow from the fountain? Or from the forge? Or what happened to it?
No, he wouldn't meet with us today, so he will meet with us at dawn, he said.
Roll me an intelligence check. I'm gonna put it at DC 9.
I apparently can learn all 3 of these spells.
Are you kidding me? I'm using 2 sorcery points.
Siegfried is welcome to the same chat, by the way.
10.
10? Yeah, you don't know 100% what happened, but you do remember that somebody convinced him to use the forge, because the forge, what makes it so hot is the volcanic water. Somebody convinced him to use it as a cauldron.
Okay. Yep, okay. Thank you. We don't know the full details in regards to what happened there, but apparently someone from the university tried brewing a potion forge.
Using the forge as a cauldron. That caused the initial problem. So we hear.
Dila's gonna place a hand on her chest and say, surely not one of my students.
Is it possible it was Elena?
She's going to look over at the banners in town and say, her father was the master of standards for the Ruby Alliance. And she did live in this country for some time, but The Elena I knew, even now, she shakes her head and says, meddling with demon reagents? Or demon curses? Worshipping demons?
Well, this was done
Dila's face
years
sours.
ago.
It was a man, right, that I saw first, who took it out and did I see the person who handed the staff to the peasant when I used the identify spell?
Yeah, you don't recognize him.
It was a man, though.
Mm-hmm.
It was a man who gave it to them, so...
This was about 2 years ago, give or take, when this happened.
And this whole cursed item business didn't happen until a few months ago, according to, what's his name? Stein, Annan, one of those.
Perhaps it might not have been your student, but one of her accomplices.
That's possible. It's easy to pass off or try to pass yourself off as an arcanist if you just claim to be one.
And I've ruined the university's reputation in this town.
Yeah, she's going to look at Siegfried and say, what's Siegfried's belief, the given wills?
Well, the way I have him is similar to Irkus in that he knows of it, he grew up with it, doesn't actively worship or practice it.
Okay, Dila's going to look at Siegfried and say, how powerful of holy magics do you command? If we get you next to the well, could you purify it?
Possibly? Possibly. I'd have to, well, I probably need to prepare for it too. My current, the current spells I have available to me are more combat-based. I haven't really bothered to change anything since the whole, murder mystery fiasco.
He said he wouldn't meet with us until morning, so I don't think that'll be too much. Not to mention Von V and our new friend are still beat up from their training session.
Dila is going to exhale and say, a day is too much time to waste in the city. I thought perhaps this would be a quick task.
Well, we can always do the method to get to Olivia the same as we got to you.
By tomorrow, I will be able to cast teleport more than once.
And if your goal is to rescue the child that was with you, right? Or is it actually to fight Olivia?
Kill two birds with one stone, pun intended.
Dila goes silent.
You've used some of your own magics today, Dila. If you're going to fight someone like Olivia, you should probably be at full strength yourself, no?
She nods and says, we can rest here for the night, but perhaps we might have to continue without the water of Wolfa's Forge.
I could prepare myself for purifying, see if I can, give it a try. Not, we lose some time, and we could still do as Admir said, use the same trick to get to them as we got to you.
I'm more than willing to do that. I don't know that many spells that, besides teleport, that require that much energy from me. times like this, Ruka would contact me more.
And as we determined already, even Olivia can't fully block Shattertooth.
Dila is going to nod and say, "We rest the night then. In the morning, we'll attempt to purify the water. If we can't, we move on."
Sounds good. And while you're trying to purify the water, we can still try to talk to the Lord here and see what's going on in regards to these items.
All right. Oh, go ahead.
Awkward. It's just going to be awkward question. Looking up at the party. Do any of you have a coin purse I can borrow until I can get a new one?
Coin purse? What's that?
You are a very strange request just now. You realize this, right?
Considering I had to give the peasant, the farmer, my coin purse as well as a good chunk of gold to get this staff back, I think that is the most reasonable request.
Try the general store on our way back in town.
All right. As you guys are walking through town, you're able to head to the Stout Wizard. No problems. And Vanvi can pick up like a coin purse from like a passing merchant. They'll sell you one for 6 copper.
I only have gold on me.
All right, you give him a gold coin. He does a dance. No, I'm kidding. He'll give you 8 silver.
Alright.
It's still like 6 times the price, or
Yeah, no, I don't have any small change on me. All I
that's
You
fine.
might as well just buy every single coin purse he has for that 1 gold.
But anyways, yeah, you're able to get another coin pouch. The Stout Wizard is a modest adventures inn. I don't have anything fancy in there planned. You guys are able to get rooms at the rate of 8 silver a night. Other than that, is everybody comfortable with ending here for the session? And we'll pick up on the 30th of Hunter.
Before that goes off, Vonvi will pay with the 8 silver. But before we end there, if Draelos or Siegfried want Vonvi to cast Identify on their items real quick, so we know what they are.
That's actually what I was about to bring up.
Yeah, might as well.
Curious.
Yeah, and that in the night, like, hey, you check on this.
Yeah, I can easily do that. And which ones do you want me to identify first?
Go, Drelo.
Yay, did.
All right.
Please check out my beautiful, beautiful new ring, which is interesting animal.
I am going to save time on it. You cast Identify on the ring. It is a ring of the ram. You should be able to search it in Roll20's compendium. If you can't, it is on page 193 of the DMG. And what was the other item?
That would be Siegfried's armor that he has recently that regenerated when it got scratched.
Siegfried has armor that has a +1 bonus to AC, in addition to its normal bonuses. It also it is partially infused with elusive. The armor aids him in getting out of grapple checks and resisting shove attempts. He can add 2d4 to his rolls when he is trying to contest a grapple or shove.
We'll relay that to both of them.
How many rooms were available, Brandon?
In here, I'll roll a d6. 6.
Six of us, so we can each get our own room.
There's enough. There's enough space for each, and these aren't luxurious rooms. They're just basically sleeping spaces with a bed, wardrobe, and chair, nightstand.
I think, yeah, for the griffin.
Oh, would there be a stable here? I feel like there would be a stable here. It's an adventurer's town. You pass through Larenstar Stead heading to Eastwind.
Yep. There would be a stable that I could probably have Luna stay at for the night for gold. Like.
Yeah. And it would be half as much. It'd be 4 silver for, a stable stall.
Okay.
Otherwise, if it's a gold for the stable and 8 gold for the room, you guys might want to vice versa. Sleep in the stable and it should be nicer.
Yeah, that's fair.
8 silver for the room, 4 silver for the stable stall.
Right.
And you don't have to buy feed because Luna doesn't eat.
Okay, yeah, that's fair.
Alright, and we will end...
While we split...
Oh, go ahead.
While we sleep, while we're getting ready to sleep, I'm going to try and attune to the Ring of the Ram.
You're going to try and use the Ring of Ram? Oh, attune to it. Okay. You can attune to it at the end of a short rest, or long rest, easy peasy.
Brandon, the only other thing I'm doing is I'm using my other spell scroll and sending to Roman.
Okay. He'll get it that night, and I will message it to him later.
I have it right here. I was just going to send it back to him since he sent me his response, and I'll send you a copy so you know it too, okay?
Okay. Easy peasy. All right. So, that is Larenstar Stead. I'm going to give you guys a major experience for just story experience, that there is a powerful demon likely on the loose in this region. And I think everything you guys learned tonight was related to that.
Yeah.
It was pretty. It was a pretty small session, but it's still fun. I'm gonna say 1,500 experience in for tonight, and I'm gonna give Vanvi and Drelos inspiration.
Oh.
1,500, you said?
Yes. All right, and your next session will be on the 26th of October. Everybody going to be good to make that?
1,000.
That should be good.
500 or 600?
500.
500, yeah.
Okay. Make it double checking.
Think so. I will, if anything comes up, I will let you know.
Okay, yeah, and we can reschedule if people give me a warning far enough in advance. All right, thank you guys.